Okay. Um, what did we leave off? Uh, why am I not remembering where we left off? Oh, Adkan, yeah. Samachov Amar Aleph. Samachov Amar Aleph, 4 lines down. Now we get into Bava Metzia sugyas here. Another confusing sugya. Not so hard like all the drushes from the last few days, but more confusing about when is a shinoi kaina, when is a shinoi not kaina, etc., etc. So we had said that Rabbi Loi had said that if a guy steals a sheep or a lamb, and after he steals it, it grows up, which is inevitable, right? The animal finally it grows up, right, and then it becomes into an ayah, or you have an egel, a calf that turns into a shar. So that shinoi makes it that he's kind of with the shina, the crook is kind of with the shina, and then if he shechts the animals or he sells them, he doesn't have to pay dalit v'hei, right? Because he's paying dalit v'hei because it's his animal, so he doesn't have to pay dalit v'hei. Right, so that's what we, so that was Rabbi Loi's din. So we had a machlokes of Chanina and Rabbi Loi, whether does he not pay dalit v'hei at all, or does he pay dalit v'hei based on his original stealing price? Meaning an egel is worth, let's say, $50. When he shefted it, it was already a shar, which is worth $100. So he's definitely not paying 4 or 5 times $100, right? But the question is, does he have to pay 4 or 5 times $50? Because that's what it was worth when he was stolen. So that was a machlokes. So now the Gemara is going to ask on that. Again, 4 lines down. Some of them are aleph. Sa'ad kan like pligi. Right, till now there's no machlokes. The marsa of a shinu kaina. One holds shinu is kaina. Umarsa of ain't shinu kaina. Read the machlokes between Rabbi Loi and Rabbi Chanina was whether this shinui, meaning this change in the animal, is kaina or not. Right? So one held yes, right? And Rabbi Chanina held it doesn't. It's not a kinyan. Avalinian shlume, but according to everybody, how much did you have to pay? Everybody was saying that you have to pay the dalit v'hei based on what it was worth when it got stolen, right? You have to pay the tashlume kefim tashlume arba chamisha the way it was worth when it was stolen, right? Meaning the whole machlokes is whether you should pay dalabay or not if there's a shinui, right? If the shinui makes it that he's shechting his own, but according to both, whatever if you're going to have it, it's going to be paid whatever it was worth when it got stolen. That's not like Rav, right? Rav had said that the Keren gets paid back what it was worth when it was stolen, and the Kefel and Dalid Vehei or Dalid Vehei gets paid the shots when they're in Bezdin, right? So it's a kash on Rav. Lemit of the Yutta the Rav. Dama Rav Keren Kain Shagon on the Keren meaning the principal gets you calculate the principal based on what it was worth when it was stolen. And Dalad Behei gets evaluated how much it's worth b'shas hamada bedin. And here, everybody seems to be saying that the Dalad Behei goes based on the Karen, right? Based on not on the Karen, based on when it was stolen, right? So the answers Amar Rava, Tlayim Kedemei Kara, Tamim. I'm sorry, Tlayim Kedemei Kara, Tla. If he's paying back in actual lambs, then he pays back what it was worth when it was stolen. Meaning, he has two options with how he's going to pay Dalad Behei. Right? Let's say it was a lamb. So a lamb, he's paying 4 lambs back. So he goes to the market and he buys 4 lambs. that are worth whatever certain amount of money, and he gives back 4 lambs. Right. So then, if that's what he's paying back, then it goes with how much it's worth when it was stolen. But if he's paying back money, right, and he's not paying back lamb, then domim kishel achshav, then he pays how much it's worth right then and there. Right. So now we're saying a whole loop Shan and Rav. Even when Rav says that you're paying dalet behei based on when it's shas hamad bedin, that's only if you're paying cash. I don't know, cash or the equivalent. But if you're paying back actual animals, then you only have to pay back the price of the animal. Not only you can work to your advantage or disadvantage, depending if the prices went up or not. But you have to pay back the equivalent of 4 sheep or 4 lambs, what it was worth, b'shas the geneva.
But the case of the brisa is talking about where you shep the animal, correct?
The case of the brisa, it's talking about both.
Whenever you're talking dollar to hay, you're talking about these shekels.
Correct. So in that case, it says you pay. You're saying that's when you say you pay to me. Rav's not talking about where you shep the animal when he says dollar hay.
What?
I'm sorry. The case. How could you say twaim could make karet?
No, the extra twaim, the knas. Enochanami, when he shechts it, he's not paying back the original.
Oh, you're saying, Sam, if I pay back with twaim, I could pay
what value of it when it was at the beginning.
Right. What's the difference how you pay it back? It's Yashav L'Rav is Shavak Kesef. Who really cares? You're not paying back the actual chayfetz, so l'man afkamina.
Because it seems, though, I think the way I understand it is that if you're paying back the sheep, so then you're giving him back 3 extra sheep, right? With because that's what you owed him. You owed him sheep, so.
But you're paying the dollar behay. The dollar behay is a knas. It's not what you owe him. Right. You owe him now. But so right. What does that have to do with the car?
You're giving him back what you took from him.
But you're not.
You are.
That's not giving him back what you took from him. You didn't take a knas from him.
Of course. There's a knas that you have to give back in addition. But since you're giving back a imitation of what you took around. It's not an imitation, but I'm saying you took a sheep. It says pay him back 3 more sheep. So give him back 4 sheep altogether.
Right? You look at it. It was a 50-pound sheep. You're giving him back a 50-pound sheep.
But you're not.
You owe him dollar to hay, so you give him dollar shepsel.
But you never took dollar to hay from him.
That's what you took from him.
No, you didn't take dollar to hay from him. The term is mechanic knas.
You took 1 sheep from him, not 4.
What you took from him. It has nothing to do with that. Torah says you have to pay him extra. Where does this chiluk come from? He dashed it from a pasuk?
Is he dashing it from a pasuk? No.
So where do you see that there should be such a chiluk between how you pay him?
Where? Well, look, you can look at.
To me, it's a huge chiddush. It comes out of nowhere.
Kefil. You see it from Kefil.
Where do you
have to give it back much bezalta. You have to what Shav's Leveda is you have to give back what you stole. You know,
so now nothing to do with Kefil.
Hang on, let me finish. What you stole, there's a kanas on exactly that is what you have to pay back on. If the 50-pound shepsel. So and you got caught, so you're paying back that shepsel plus a 50-pound shepsel. You know, if you shechted it, so then you got four times a 50-pound shepsel. If you do giving back exactly that, when you turn it into money, it's a different story.
Well, you just made a leap there. Where did you see that leap in the din of Kefil, or the din of Dal Behek?
See, because the way Rashi says is tle gonav, tle meshalim. So then you pay for what the tle was when you stole it. You're paying him back tles, so you give him back 4 of what you stole. right? But once you're going down the money route, right? Then you have to go with when they're paskening in the bezdin how much you have to pay, which is what it's worth right now. That's the Pashto way of understanding, but I hear what you're saying. That's why you have a long thesis on this. All right. There's Rabbeinu Tam, 3 wide lines down. Anyways, but that's what we're saying. Rav is saying that Rav's din is limited. When Rav says that you pay kishas, the kefil is kishas, the hamad bedin when he's in bezdin, that's referring to when he's paying in cash or cash equivalents. When he's paying by actual sheet, then he just pays whatever it was worth when it was stolen. Okay, so that is a major adjustment in the Shita of Rav. Yeah, fine. Now we get into you need lumdus for this too, Akiva, right? With the shinoi is being kaina and yush kaina, right? So Amar Rav, shinoi kaina. When something happens to the item that was stolen, then it becomes the ganav is kainet, right? And he's saying, so Rav is saying that it's shina kainet ksiva b'tnina. It's written in the Torah and it's learned in Mishnayos. Meaning he's saying it's bevada yedin dairaisa, that if something changes in whatever it is that the guy stole, then it becomes a new entity, and with that the guy is kainet. Right? What does it mean? Ksiva, what it was written in the Torah where it says v'heishav ezegzela shagaza. Person has to give back the stolen items that he stole. What does that mean? That the v'heishav es hagezela asher gaza. Of course. Right? What does it just say v'heishav es hagezela? What's the asher gaza? Ma tamar lema asher gaza. Im ke'ein shegazal. If it's exactly the way it was stolen, Yavser give it back. Vim lav. And if not, then all you have to do is pay the equivalent. You don't have to pay the actual item. Meaning, let's make something, I should have clarified this before. But when we're saying that a shinu is kaina, that doesn't mean that the crook now is kaina, and therefore he doesn't have to pay back his geneva. It means he has to pay it back, but he does not have to pay back that item. Right? He could pay back the cash equivalents. Right? Meaning a guy steals a car and then soups it up and puts all sorts of chazara in. So that shinui makes him be kind of the car. Now he gets caught. Right? He gets caught. So since he made a shinui in it, he was kind in, and now that car is his. But he still has to pay the guy back, but he could pay the guy back cash or buy him a new car. He doesn't have to give him his souped up car that he just put all that work in. Right? That's what we're saying. What it means is Shina is kind of. Now we learn out from Beheshav as a gazela sure goes. So that's a pasuk. Tanina. We learned it in a Mishnah. Right? Hagoy zaleitzim, bason kalim. If a guy steals wood, and then he takes that wood and he makes it into a kli. Semer, he takes wool, bason begodim, he makes it into clothing. Mishalim kishasa gazela, he pays what the wool was worth or the wood was worth at the time of the stealing. Right? So Mamela, why? Well, what's a pshat in that? Why not just have to give back the clothing? Or why not give back the utensils? Because that shinui makes it kind of them, and then he just has to pay back the equivalent of what it was worth when he stole it.
Why is it pshita that it's kaina?
Why is pshita? I mean,
no, meaning why is it? Meaning, I understand there's this concept that it should be kaina, but why? Meaning, like, what are you doing to the chayfetz? Let's say I damage somebody's chayfetz. I'm not necessarily kaina the chayfetz. Right.
Right.
No, so because it's in my rishus, I should have more of a right to be kainet.
So that's we're gonna see on Amid Bays also. That's one of the confusing parts. Where's the kinyan?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like where the Gemara is establishing right now. Yeah. Of course, Shina is kind of. Yeah, we know this. Where's the kinyan happening? Because I stole it, it's in my rishus, and now I'm damaging. I don't know if you want to use the word damaging. I could be mashbiach it. Because I'm changing what it is, all of a sudden the owner has no rights to he up until this point he had a right.
But we said yesterday, it's that's what we said yesterday. According to it's a beferish pasuk in the Torah. That's because of the Shino, you're Konet. Correct.
Yeah, but he's asking what if there's a lumdus for the Torah.
Because
Is
the
there a
guy's
lumdus?
Miyah shit.
Is it?
That's not. No, that's not the pshat. Because
Is it
Yish is a whole shaila. That is
Yish
not the pshat in
up-
Shina Kaina.
Yish is
Yish is
coming
a
up.
shaila if you're Kaina. That's a separate Inyan.
Correct. That's next. That's coming up.
No, Shina is Kaina without the Inyan of Yish.
Correct. Pashtus is yes.
Rashi says it often right here.
Yeah. Okay, we'll have to see on Amud Beis because in Amud Beis it's gonna get more not confusing. It's just hard to understand.
Let's say a guy's Mishana Chayfetz and he makes it better. Why would I be Miyash or something like that?
And Ochanami, it's not really Al Yish. It's Al Shinu. It's a new entity. It's a new entity.
To me, it sounds like a huge chiddush to me. It doesn't sound like a pshit at all.
Well, God can make a chiddush.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand, but if you want to understand how does it fit into the parameters? I guess my question is how does it fit into the normal parameters of Kinyan if we're calling it a Kinyan? Shina
Right.
Kaina.
Right.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. It's just yeah. Because as
Can
you might
get Chazaka and the Kauflin?
Because it's not what he stole.
right, but where was the Kenyan?
Chazaka,
Chazaka?
maybe.
Maybe. Or maybe you could
That's
say
Chiddush.
Freya picked it up. Okay,
What?
let's wait. Let's see. Let's see the Gemara weiter. Maybe it'll get it clearer. Maybe it get not clearer. From a betting man, it'll be not clearer. But but at least we know more what we're not clear about, right? Inami, or another source in the Mishnah. This is talking about Reishis Agez. Yeah, so meaning the first how do you call it, shearings of the sheep, you have to give over to the kohen. Right, so let's say the guy like hispik litna achetzavu, but before he was able to give the wool over to the kohen, he dyed the wool. So now that's a shiner. So then he's potter. He's potter from giving it to the kohen. Right, so Rashi says why. A kohen can't take him to Bezdin and say, "Hey, you just stole my wool," because he could say, "I didn't mean to give it to you. I meant to give it to a different kohen, so you have nothing to do with me." And each kohen can be told that. So therefore, he's potter. I don't know if he's getting the Tzaddik of the Year award, this guy, but he's potter, right? Because no kohen could bring him to din, right? So why is he potter? Because it's a new entity, right? So Alma Shinui Kaina. So you see that Shinui is Kaina. Fine, so we have three sources that Shinu is kind of one a pasuk, and two are mishnayos. Yiyush. What about Yiyush? Yiyush is how do you touch Yiyush? They give up. That would be they give up.
Despair is a better word.
Despair.
Yeah, it's despair of getting it back. He gave up hope. That's called despair. But of getting it back.
I don't know why in my head despair is like you're despair, but you didn't totally give up.
So Yaakov, our school actually teaches that despair. That's the exact touch.
I always thought despair means you're like 90% of the way, but you're not 100%. This luchar has to be 100%. So I guess I just don't know English, which is no good get. I mean, whatever. Right? I'm equal opportunity all across the board here, right? So despair.
Art Scroll got it from Aaron.
There you go. Despair must be that you gave up. The guy totally gave up on ever getting it back. Once he gives up on ever getting it back, then the guy's kind of. So Yush Amri Rabbanan Denikni. Some say that there is a kinyan. Miu, right? I'm sorry. The Rabbanan say it's a kinyan. Miu lo yadina ni daraisi the Rabbanan. We have no idea if this kinyan, when the guy gives up or this guy despairs, is that kinyan of the Rabbanan, the kinyan of the Raisa? Kinyan ida Raisa. If it's a Raisa, midi dahava moitze aveda. It's no different than somebody who finds a lost object, which is another thing that it's hard to understand. But moitze aveda, if you find an aveda, lav kivan de miyayish moramina, since the owner is miyayish, bekami de tasili ode konile. So then, before it even gets into the hands of the finder, he's already koined, right? Meaning, I don't mean it. I think I touched that incorrectly. Meaning, once the guy's miyayish, The guy lost his pen in the street, right? So he doesn't think anybody's going to look at a pen. Nobody's going to case it, forget it. I'm never going to find that pen again, right? So it's already done. It's not his. And then the guy picks it up. So it becomes his, right? Because the owner was already miyayish. Hainami, kiven de miyayish marakanila. Since the owner of this thing was miyayish, because it was stolen and he never has hope of recovering it. So al makani. So you see that there's such a thing as yiyush is kindness. So meaning we're learning it out from a lost object. Just like by a lost object, somebody could be kindness with yiyush. So too by a stolen object, the same thing. That would be a deraisa. Idilma maybe no. What?
How does that take away from your mitzvah v'shavas aveda? How do you know, guys? How do you know? You're talking about aveda now, no?
Yeah, so that's the $1 million question. How do you know when the guy was miyayish or not? Right, that's where it's going to depend on what was lost. Was it money? Does a person always feel his wallet? Did he even know about it? Yir shalom das with das. That's all those type of it's all those type of variables. Right? But whatever it is, you see that the finder is kind of if we assume that there was yish. That's one way of looking at it. Idilma, maybe the other way around. Loy dami la aveda. It's not similar to aveda because there's a pasha the difference. Aveda who the chiyasoy liyadei, and aveda when the aveda got into the guy's hand, when the guy finds it in the street, it got to his hands beheter. Right? There was no isser, he wasn't doing anything. He found something on the floor, he picked it up. So aval high, so mamela the year says kindness. Aval high, but the crook, kivan to be surah it came into his hand by isser, with the rabbanon who, right? Then it's only the rabbanon. I'm sorry, with the rabbanon who it's with the rabbanon, the amar rabbanon nikim ibnei takanas hashavim, meaning really he should not have been kindness. And the reason why he is kainit is because of takonas hashavim, takona to get people to do tshuva. Meaning, they want people to do tshuva because if you're not going to let the guy keep the actual stolen object, he's never going to admit to it. And then the guy who got stolen from is never going to get his money back. Like this, if we tell the guy that stole it, that the owner was meyayish, then you only have to pay him back cash, and you could keep the item. Then maybe we'll get some people to do tshuva, and they'll admit that they stole.
And Yir Shalem Das is like a middle darga between these two.
That's what I think. Yir is like Yir Shalem Das is like a built-in thing.
Whatever, but it's in between because I wouldn't say it's behatera asli yodeh because you're still mechuyev to give it back.
Right, but it didn't come by Isser to you that you were doing.
I know, but like he still, you didn't. It wasn't already it wasn't already miyuyish for you to go ahead and be kind of when you picked it up. That's my point.
Right. No, fair enough. Right, but that's going to be different. Also,
no, I'm saying, but the other side of the Gemara is that it's already miyuyish when you come to pick it up. Meaning, there's some middle level here between the two studs and the Gemara is presenting to us right now.
Right, so that's going to be part. That's part of the whole sugya. Did it happen before the years or after? Did he pick it up before years, after years? Right,
but
right. Okay, but Rabbi Yosef Amar, Yiyosh ain't a koina. He disagrees with the whole thing. He disagrees with Rabbah. Rabbah is saying that Yiyosh is koina. It's just a matter of whether it's a deraisa or derabbanan. Rabbi Yosef says no. Yiyosh ain't a koina, but feeling with the rabbanan. Yiyosh is not koina, even with the rabbanan. And he has to pay back the actual thing that he stole. Again, according to Rabbah, the reason why the Chum didn't want him paying back the actual thing that he stole is because he's going to have to go find it. And he's going to say, forget it. This is not worth the headache. I'm just going to deny that I ever stole it. But if you tell him that he can just pay back the cash equivalent, then it's going to be okay. All right? So that's when Rabbi Yosef says, no, there's Yiyosh is not kaina, and he's got to go find the actual item he stole, and he gives it back. Fine. Okay, now the rest of the Amud, the rest of the Daf, Amud Beis, is going to be kashas back and forth from Rabbah to Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yosef to Rabbah, and then Rabbah to Rabbi Yosef. What are you saying?
I mean, me personally, I don't understand any of this. I can't accept any of these things. I just can't accept it. I have no connection to this mamza who stole my thing. I have no connection to him. Let his mother take care of him, his wife, his father, his rov. I have nothing to do with him. He stole something from me. I don't want to know him. I don't want to see him. I don't care if he does tshuva. I'm not the Chafetz Chaim. I'm not Reb Levi Yitzchak. I don't care about this person. I have nothing ever to do with him my whole life. Just because he stole something from me, I have to do with him now. I don't want nothing to do with this guy. I have nothing to do with him.
Yes.
He just became your neighbor, Reb Aaron.
Well, good. Okay.
If he stole from you and he wants to return it when he got caught, are you going to accept the kafel or are you going to be Michael on the kafel?
Bezdin will give me the kafel, not him. Bezdin's going to give me the kafel.
If the Bezdin's not going to give you the kafel if he doesn't give it to me, you're going to tell me Bezdin's going to give you the kafel even though
I don't
the guy
want
didn't pay
nothing
you?
to do with this person. He's not in my Dalit Amos. I don't care about him. I don't care about his Yerushalayim. I don't care about his Olam Haba. I don't care about him. You understand?
He don't care about
I have nothing to do with him.
He doesn't care about his Yerushalayim either.
Well, so we're even.
You agree on something. You agree on something.
Sounds like he's more even than you are because he's got the chayfetz.
Yeah, and you're right. It's a very hard thing to understand. Well, because the guy you steal and wait for the guy to be miyayish and then say, okay, great, we got it now. Now let's just go pay him. Let's go pay him some cash, and now we got it. Yeah.
It's like when you're walking or when I go to the beach and somebody says, oh, there's a dog. It's a very nice dog. Good, it's a nice dog. It has nothing to do with me. Don't put it near me. I don't want to see your dog. You like the dog. Take the dog in your house and let him play with your wife. I don't care about your dog. You understand? It has nothing to do with my life. Your dog, that it's a nice dog. Doesn't interest me. I don't want it. I couldn't care about it. It's the same thing as this guy.
Okay, masking. But the bottom line is, it's all about whether you were miyayish or not. If you were miyayish, then you're gonna have you'll get it back. Not, yeah. If not. Okay, so let's see. So Esrei Rav Yosef l'Rabba. Again, Rabba is the one that holds that Yiyush is kinda by Geneva. As long as the guy gives up on ever recovering his stolen item, he's kinda. It's just a matter of whether it's the Rais or the Rabbanon. Rav Yosef held no. He got Rabbi Yosef like Rabban. So Rabban is holding like Rabbi Yosef. He's not kind of anything. You got to give it back and finished. All right. So it's Rabbi Yosef the Rabba. Rabbi Yosef has the kasher Rabba. So Gazel chametz v'avar lava Pesach. If a guy stole chametz and now Pesach, so now we know chametz is also bahana. This is pre-mechiras chametz days, the chayra. Right. So you didn't have that option of just selling your chametz. You just got rid of your chametz. Right. Pre-refrigeration, pre-preservatives, you got rid of your chametz. No, so now a guy steals his friend's thing, Purim time. He steals a good bottle of schnapps from the guy's house on Purim, and then he realizes, oh, here comes Pesach. So now what? So goes of chametz to overlap Pesach, and then Pesach passed over. No pun intended, right? Right, meaning the Ganav still had it on Talmud Beis. So Amar Loi Harei Shechol Chanecha. So what does the Ganav do? He gives back the Isru Chag Pesach. He's going to be a big tzaddik now. He goes and he gives the bottle of schnapps back to the guy and says, here it is. I didn't take anything from you because it was also about an over Pesach anyway. So you're losing it the same way you lose it.
Did he sell his chametz?
Well, in this case, I don't believe so. It's a good shaila though. Can he, if he did sell his chametz, can he have it in mind?
Well, he thought it was his, right? He didn't think he was going to get caught.
Well,
so he probably thought it was his.
Who are you talking about? The Ganav sold it?
Who's his? Who sell? It's Reuben's chametz. Shimon stole the chametz. Who are we asking stole the chametz?
I'm asking if Shimon sold it.
The thief. Did the thief sell the chametz?
I'm asking if the thief sold this bottle of liquor.
Yes, that's a good
Which
question.
Doesn't belong to him to begin with.
Correct, but he stole it. He thinks it's his. It's his now. He stole it.
Right, so that's the question. Is Shinui Kaina?
So I'm asking if the Ganav sold it.
Sorry.
I'm asking if the Ganav sold it.
Right, so that's the question. If the guy that got stolen from is miyayish from an erev Pesach, he says, okay, it's farfallen, right? He says farfallen. I'm not. It's not in my possession to sell it, right? And it's going to be chametz over Pesach, so then it's over and done with.
Don't we have somewhere Shinai Mokum is also kind of? Don't we have some of that Shinai Mokum is kind of?
Yes. Yeah, but I don't know if that plays into. I don't think Shine Mokum.
Don't think any of that helps here with the Gamif. That both of them eine Masker, eine Makdish. Zeh mishum she'ene shloi, v'zeh mishum she'ene b'shus.
But
Yeah,
Pesach.
Rock, the guy who stole it, he went to a Pesach program. Now he's pouring for all the people on the table. I have this great bottle of wine I got for Yontif, and he's giving everybody the kaises from that wine.
We're talking about.
Byron, I didn't see you at that program. You at the same program?
Now, this is when you were still going to those other programs in Florida, okay?
You remember, huh? You
Hot
remember
shots.
that?
Yeah, hot
This was the
shots.
Japan
Yeah,
program. This was the Japan program.
The Stevenson Hotel a number of years ago when it came out with beer. Yeah.
Okay, anyway. Okay, so I'm a So the crook says to him, here's your chametz. V'hai, keeping the mata idan isura. Now what happened? What went on over here? Again, the guy stole it Purim time. He stole his chametz. Comes after Pesach and he gives back the chametz. He says, here, it's yours. It's yours. It was stolen. It's also about no anyways, right? So how did this go down? Since it came the time of Isser, meaning Erev Pesach, Vada Meyayish, right? The owner is going to be Meyayish. What's going to be with his chametz? It's gone, right? I mean, it's an interesting thing, David. When nowadays that there's the concept of selling chametz, would there be yish? Because maybe the guy's going to think the crook. You see here, the crook is makbid on Pesach, is not makbid on Geneva, right? So maybe he taka sold the chametz. Right? Why would that not help?
Because if it's not his, how can he sell it? If Yish is kind of fine, then he could sell it. But if it's not kind of like Rabbi Yosef, then he's in Haktasaurus.
Right, so you're going around in circles. If it's Yiyush, then the guy could sell it. If there's no Yiyush, then the guy can't sell it.
The Gemara's teretz is very simple. He doesn't want to be kind of what you're being miyayish.
Who doesn't want to be kind?
The Gazler. I'm just saying, isn't that what you're saying? Mike, you can't sell something that's not that you don't want or you don't own and you don't want to own.
No, but I'm saying, but it may change. The whole Yiyush, because of the Mechiras Chametz, the whole Yiyush may change. That's all.
Because you would then sell it? Maybe not.
Right, exactly. So I don't know.
It's the how does this work with it?
He goes to the Rav and he says to the Rav, "Well, I have a bottle of schnapps that this guy stole from me a month ago." And the Rav says, "Well, you can't sell that. You don't have it." It's okay, I'm definitely miyayish now.
Maybe. I don't know. It comes up a lot with the Amazon sellers. Can you sell your chametz that you're selling with Amazon? Not yours. Amazon has it. They didn't steal from you.
What happened?
You shipped your stuff to Amazon. You're an Amazon seller. You sell chocolate chip cookies. You chocolate chip cookies. You sell Amazon, right? You load it up with
it's not so. You can even less. A guy who's in the wholesale business does drop shipping directly from pastas.
Whatever. Same type of thing, exactly. So now, can you sell that chametz? It's not for rishus. It's in Amazon's rishus, right? It's in Amazon's rishus. So can I sell it now? Can I not sell it now? Raise the price. Don't raise the price. Whatever it is that you can do, but it's not a pashut thing that you just go sell it. What are you writing on there? The guy's gonna buy your chametz and get it where exactly? From Amazon, right? Amazon warehouse.
It should be that's mamish the worst case scenario. Part of bittul chametz is they have a hefker kafir da'aret. He certainly can't be mafkirit. Whether he can be miyayish, maybe, but he can't be mafkirit.
Can't be mafkirit. It's not your. Well, then the question is, does it belong to Amazon? If it belongs to Amazon, it's fine. If it doesn't belong to Amazon, then, okay, these are the same. These are the contemporary issues that go on. So, anyways,
Yaakov, how is this any different than the case where you somebody steals like a sheep and it gets old and you can't tell the person after it gets old, it's a Mishnah.
Right. So why is that different?
Yeah.
Because there was a shinui in the. What's that? There it says what? You can't, right?
You can't.
Can yes or cannot? I don't remember.
You cannot.
You cannot. Because there
Even according to the sheet that holds that when it gets old or it changes, even according to I guess with Chanina.
I don't remember.
Chanina holds no shina when it comes to how the animal changes.
But there it's a little different because there it's not worth. There it's worth something and it's the same animal. Here it's worthless. And there's no
it's close again over there. You can't give it back.
No, right. There the animal changed. You can't give it back. It says you could.
Yeah.
Give it back.
He says you have to pay.
I don't remember. Look,
put it away. There's no shina kind of.
Put it away till we get there. I hear. And yeah. Anyways, so again, second line down. If you hold a yiyush is kaina, amai armar, right? Why does he say what's yours is yours? The may mali you should have to pay everything. Because again, when did the yiyush happen? 2 days before Pesach or the day before Pesach, the guy's miyayish. Okay, even if I get back to chametz, it's going to be chametz shalom Pesach. Okay, so it's miyayish, right? So if he's miyayish, that means the crook is kainet, right? So that means if he was kainet, so now he owes him legitimate chametz before Pesach, right? He owes him chametz. Right again, the kinyan. What's this whole point of yiyush and not yiyush? Oh, the whole shaila of yiyush and not yiyush is whether the guy has to pay back the equivalent, right? If there's yiyush, then the guy pays back the equivalent. If there's no yiyush, then he doesn't pay back if there's yiyush, then he does not have to. He has to pay him back. He does not have to pay him back the actual thing that's stolen, right? So here there was yiyush. That means the guy was kainet. So now he just has to pay him back the worth of the chametz that it was before Pesach. Elamai, so it must be that's a kasha on Rava that the yiyush is not kainet. So Amar Lei says this teretz is hard to understand. I think Ki kamina no. He says, when did I say that? Meaning this is Rava answering Yosef. When did I say that yiyush is kainet? Zemis yayish v'zeroitz aliknas. That's when, let's say, the guy that it got stolen from was miyayish, and the ganav wants to be kainet. Hi, zemis yayish v'ze einoi roitz aliknas. Here we're talking about the guy that it got stolen from is miyayish, and the ganav is not interested in being kainet. He stole it, and now he's not interested in being kainet because he doesn't want to be stuck with chametz on Pesach, right? So Mamela, there's no kinyan there. So now, how do you understand this? How, meaning now there's such a thing as yiyush is kainet. The ganav could be kainet with yiyush, but if he doesn't want to be kainet, so he's not kainet. And if he does want to be kainet, so is there a kinyan here? Is there no kinyan here? What's the story?
I think it's the bottom place with Sanamad Aleph, no?
It's part of it, right?
That's right. Shalashin is the Yush is a siluk. Hefker is pushing it out.
Correct. Is Yush Hefker? I wish I understood it. I'm sorry. I whatever. It would be geschmack to learn this, but Ian really would. I think at least the first day.
It's Yaakov, they bring down the tzais who Taka holds that way, and he brings it right from the Gemara that Yish is it requires also the owner to what?
So a kinyan. That's what you're saying.
No, Yish is not a kinyan from this Gemara's mashma.
No, but you would need a kinyan, right?
No, meaning it doesn't even. It's not even hefker at this point.
Right. So that means then when the guy does want it, so where does the kinyan take place then, according to the tzuz?
I guess it's a two-step process.
What?
Tzais learns the original kinyan when he stole it. When he picked it up.
Well, Mafreya, the kinyan he made when he stole it becomes the kinyan. Okay, this stuff is very hard. It's very hard to understand. Grada, this came up in a conversation. A guy asked me today. I didn't even remember that we had this in today's daf. Maybe it was in my head. The guy is making me mishuga that I once texted out in the halacha text that if a guy has an unfiltered smartphone, you could go take it and filter it behind his back without his permission. And where's my Maramokim for that? I said, I have no idea what my Maramokim is for that. He said, well, Geneva, you're stealing the guy's phone. So you're stealing the guy's phone. That's an Issa Daraisa. So how are you allowed to be over an Issa Daraisa? I said, 1 second. If a guy's chametz is about to, you're allowed to sell a guy's chametz for him on Erev Pesach, right? You're doing that. Basically, you took somebody's items, but you're doing it to save him from doing other Yisurim. right? That's what you do here, right? Here, nobody's interested in being over in the surim of chametz, whatever it is. Yeah. The guy Mamash was making me nuts. Finally, I told him, I said, you must have had a lot of trauma.
You could take an alcoholic schnapps. That's what you're
Right,
saying.
right, yeah, that type of thing. Can you take an alcoholic schnapps? Can you, right, these type of things, which the Poskim seem to say you could do it to save the guy. Certainly, if he could be marshal others, like the yeshiva bacher in the yeshiva with an unfiltered smartphone, who knows what he's going to be doing with the other bum? Then Avada, right? So finally, I just told the guy, this has nothing to do with anything. I told the guy, you must have had a lot of trauma about your phone being filtered. So then he texts back, I'm so offended, I'm embarrassed. I can't believe you said that. I said, I wasn't looking to get at you. I'm trying to, because he's not hearing a whole day. I'm going back and forth explaining to him that there's no damage. It's not Geneva to take a guy's phone and put on a filter. He says, yes, it is. It slows up the phone. I said, it does not slow up the phone. Not that, whatever. So then he got so offended. I felt bad. He got offended. He says, I'm so offended, I'm embarrassed. I said, you're embarrassed? I don't know who you are. So that was the end of the conversation. Or whatever. I guess I had this sugi in my head. I would use it as a riot. But anyways, I think I really offended him because he thought I didn't know who he was.
The filter does slow down the phone considerably.
Not the Apple filter, not the one that comes from Apple. At least not that I find.
No, the one for the Android phones.
Yeah, that's why we have Apple.
At the phone that's on your wrist.
Peretz curses me every time he goes on a Bluetooth. Why do you like Apple? Yeah.
Is that the Dick Tracy phone you have on your wrist or a different thing?
No, that's also filtered. Yes.
It's the one in his shoe, Rachamim, the one in his shoe.
That's right. Okay, anyways. Right. Esvei, next kasha. Esvei Abaya the Rabba. So some say it's Rabba here, not Rabba. But Abaya has the kasha Rabba Karbonoi. It says that you have to he brings his korban. What does that mean? V'lo yagazel, which seems to be pretty obvious, right? You have to bring your own korban. You can't bring stolen korban. Hey, if you don't know what's the case. It's before the guy was miyayish on his animal, meaning I go into a guy's corral or whatever, his farm, and I steal his animal and I'm makar of it. So that's what the pasuk is telling you is usher. So it was before the guy's miyayish. Lamali crow. I need a pasuk for that. Pshita. It's pasha. You can't go steal somebody's animal and go be makar to Rabban Shalom, right? Elalav, lachar yish. Must be talking about after the guy was already miyayish, right? I stole a sheep from the guy's barn, and now the guy's miyayish. So now the king now becomes mine. So and the pasuk is telling you that you still can't bring it as a korban, right? Even though the guy was miyayish. Shema mino yiyish loikoni. You see from this that yiyish is not kaina, right? Pretty straightforward. So Amarle Rava. So Rava said, according to you, Hadatanya, we learned in a brayso mishkavai. This is talking about somebody who has a tumah zav. So a zav, when he sits down on anything he sits down on, even if he's not touching it directly, right? You could have like 10 pillows, right? All of them become tummy, right? So, but it says mishkavai. He has to sit on his chair or bed, whatever it is. V'loy hagazel, and not if he steals somebody's chair, right? So he steals somebody's chair and he sits down on it. He cannot make it tummy. Right, which that's the way Rashi says it, right? Tosfos here comes out that even not stolen, if I'm Thomas Zov, I walk into a guy's house and I sit on this couch. Tosfos holds you cannot make that guy's couch tummy. It's an interesting. That's another love. Either the tumah goes or it doesn't go, right? What are you saying, right? So
before you brought up an interesting point, and it may apply here. He was saying how, when someone's me'ayish and someone steals it, and he gives up, and me'ayish prepares the guy to be able to be kona it. If he's not me'ayish it, he can't be kona it. Same thing here. If the guy doesn't want, it's like a two-step process. It has to have a preparation to be makabel the tuma, and then to actually have the tuma. The guy's not. I think there seems to be like a two-step process in this kona.
I hear what you're saying. You say, yeah, but that's if you're going with the shita that hold like Rashi. It seems like Rashi, right? Is it Rashi? I'm trying to look for the Rashi. Right. Rashi says in Rashi Mishkavoi says that it's Xeris HaKosov. That's Xeris HaKosov that if somebody Tame sits on a stolen chair, he cannot make it Tame. Taisus is already learning that it's just not yours. Right? But you're right, Avi. So if according to the it's a Xeris HaKosov though. So I'm not sure how that goes. Either way, so it's saying so mishkavai and it's not if it's stolen. So hey, what's the case of a zav sitting on a tamei chair? So he levet the gazal amra v'avdei mishkav. If you think that somewhere where he stole Amra's wool and then he made it into a bed. Is there a shita that holds that shina maisa is not kaina? Right? Meaning everybody holds that a shina maisa is kaina, not beishamai. Not beishamai, the end of yesterday's daf, but everybody else, not in the shitas beishamai, holds that shina does make a shina maisa is kain. What are you going to say? The gazel mishkav dechavre must be he actually stole a bed from his friend, right? So that's what it's talking about. We're saying when you steal the bed from your friend, it doesn't make it tummy. So hachanami the gazel carbon dechavre. It's not here. Not talking about where you went into the guy's farm and stole an animal and decided to make it hektish. It's talking about where your friend had an animal that was already hektish and was already earmarked for a carbon, and then you went and ripped it off. Right? You ripped off, again, the Gemara's Havamina is that you ripped off an animal and made it hektish. You made it hektish. That was saying for sure doesn't go. What we're talking about here is where you went and ripped off the guy's carbon. Right? Fine. Okay, so those are the two routes. So now we go the other.
Isn't that Pasha Al Mitzvah Bava Avera? Do you need a special pasuk to teach you mitzvah? Meaning, without this, you wouldn't know that. Meaning, it's not. I've heard about it. It's out. Is this because of mitzvah baba avera, or it's not like you're saying?
Is it because of mitzvah baba avera? Which way?
If you stole a carbon, I guess either way it would be us. Should be us or else mitzvah baba avera, even if it was a hulin.
No, but you would think, well, it's meant to be a carbon, so it was they were marking it as a carbon.
Yeah, but you're being makavit as a carbon is a baba avera, no? It's a mitzvah that's coming through stealing.
Somebody asks that kasha, right?
I guess the question would be in the Havamina or Maskana, however you want to learn it, whether it's hulin or carbon.
It's Taisus kasha. I don't know if you ask him Taisus on the way towards the band, the guzzle carbon, the chavi. Taisus says, which type of carbon are we talking about here? Right?
No, chatas is pasha. You can't bring your friend. Chatas has to be your chatas. I didn't. We're obviously talking about oil here.
Pesach also. Pesach also.
Correct. So you have to be talking about a carbon that would be
right. Masking.
No, I'm just saying stop. It's a mitzvah bavera. Like, what do you need?
You mean what you need a pasuk for?
Yeah, unless hagufa, the pasuk teaching us mitzvah bavera. I don't know.
I don't think we're learning mitzvah bavera from there. I think it's just shot that you're bringing this carbon. The carbon itself shouldn't be puzzle.
So, but why do you need a special pasuk? The pasuk it's the drasha. That but you wouldn't know Xela otherwise.
Right, I hear. Okay, yeah, I hear. Very good. So let's see. So
it could be another problem with carbonas. With the carbonas, it could be another problem because the carbon that has a shame a gazelle on it, it's chaser. It's chaser. It's not a complete carbon. It's a chaser in its shame.
I hear. I don't
know.
Yeah. Okay. The Eisvei Abai Rabbi Yosef. So now we're going to ask on Rabbi Yosef. Again, Rabbi Yosef holds that the Yush is not koine. So Oiris Shal Balabayis, Machshav Metamas. So this is talking about like, in order for a kli to make something tame, you have to actually, meaning plain items that are still need to be made into kalim are not tame. Right? Until you actually make it into a kalim. But sometimes you can even do it with machshava. In your head, you can make it into a kli. So Irish balabayas, leathers that belong to a regular balabayas, meaning it's not his business, machshava metamasa, then his machshava is going to make it tummy. Meaning if he says, oh, I got this nice skin over here, and I'm going to make it into a mattress or something like that, then just that thought now makes it into a kli. Now it's makabel tummy. The shel avdan, but if it belongs to an avdan from the word avoida, meaning a guy who is doing it for business, and then his machshava is meaningless. Ain't machshava metamasan. His machshava is not metame, because he could think in his head, oh, that piece of leather looks good for a mattress, and then 5 minutes later, a guy knocks on his door and says, hey, I want to buy that skin from you. He'll change his mind very easily, right? So ganav machshava metamasan, a ganav, right? Meaning he's a sneaky crook, right? Meaning he does it in the middle of the night. So machshava metamasan, his machshava will make it tameh. Why? Because the owner whose the leather was stolen from, has no idea who stole it, and he totally gave up on it, right? So Mamela, it says if it belongs to the ganav, and Mamela, whatever he thought about it is going to make it into a kli. But shel gazlan, but a gazlan, he just comes and just walks into the guy's house in broad daylight and takes it. Ein machshava metamos, and his machshava is not metama. Why? Because the guy's not going to give up, because he knows exactly who stole it from him. So in his head, he says, I'm gonna get it back somewhere, somehow. Shimon says the opposite. Shal Gazlan, who came in middle of the broad daylight, machshava metama, and for him the machshava is metama. Why? Because since the guy came in broad daylight, he clearly is not scared of anybody, and whether he's an armed robber, not an armed robber, and Mamela, the guy says, forget it, I'm never getting my things back from him. Bishal Ganav, ain't machshava metama, but for a Ganav who does it sneakily in the middle of the night, that his machshava doesn't do anything. Why? Because the Bailam haven't given up. Because they say, I'm going to find it somewhere. I'll go to the markets and I'll see where they're, pushing this in the black market. Whatever it is, you see that according to both shitas, shmamino yish kaina, you see that the whole thing of whether the crook who stole it is his leather, when he thinks whether that he's going to make it into a kli, whether that works or not, is all dependent on the Yush or not. So clearly you see that Yush is kind of Amarle, so that's a kashan of Yosef, Amarle, Hachamaskinon, going to Kitzon. We're not talking about where there was just mashava. We're talking about where they actually cut it up a little bit. They had to
they trimmed it a little bit. They started working it.
Right, so they trimmed it. So therefore, by trimming it, that's already a shinoi together with, that's a yush together with some sort of shinoi. Right, but enochanami, if it would just be yush, then it wouldn't work.
It's massive. If it would just be shina, it wouldn't work either.
Correct. That's Tosfos.
Well, didn't we say shina is kind of? I'm saying. Does this go against that sort of thing where I'm saying when the Gemara says shina is kind of, it's only with the ish?
Right. So I'm not right. So I'm not sure. Well, this almost fits. It's a half a line Tosfos, even though it's a pretty big line, but we have to do it, right? Going to Kitzon, Tosfos 5 lines up. It says umayil im hayush. Cutting it up helps together with yush. Avalechudei loikani the lav shine ma'aser. Just cutting it up is not going to work because that's not a shine ma'aser. All you did was trimmed it. You didn't.
Yeah, I mean, like using Rafi as an example. The first trim, he could still make it into a tefillin bot. He can make it into tefillin. He can still make it into a megillah. He can still make it into a lulav holder. The first called trims don't do anything. Don't commit to any one particular item.
Right. So that right, exactly. It's not considered a shinoi enough to make a kinyan. Together with Yush, it is, but otherwise not. Yeah. Okay. One more. Let's just do one more kasha. We also said we're talking about a plain piece of leather. And in a plain piece of leather doesn't need to be cut down. right? Because I guess it's like a flat piece of leather, right? The tanan, like a tray, right? It's like a tray, flat thing. The tanan, komakom shein chesar malacha. If there's no malacha missing, machshava metamasa, machshava will metamid, right? If a guy just has a piece of leather and says, okay, I'm making it into whatever and doesn't need any sort of work, then the machshava makes it tamid. Yesh chesar malacha, but if there's something missing from the malacha, meaning the guy could think, oh, I want to take this piece of leather and I want to make it into a bed. Yeah, but it's going to require a lot of work to make it into a bed. Ain't machshava matamasa. So then machshava is not going to be matamid because machshava is nothing when you know that you have to put a lot of work into it. Chutz min ha'Itzvah, except for this Itzvah thing, which is a flat piece of leather. Right? So you see that there's Yiyush, even meaning with this whole Gemara that we just said, which the Gemara given a teretz somewhere where he cut it up a little bit, doesn't work. It's the same Gemara applies even if you don't have to cut it up. So that can't be the teretz. This kasha, Rabba asked Rav Yosef for 22 years. He asked him this kasha. And Rav Yosef was not able to answer it. I don't know if Rav Yosef, nobody was able to answer it. At the Yosef Rav Yosef, Bereisha, Upirka, until Rav Yosef became the Rosh Hashiva after Rabbah was nifter, right? Rabbah and Rav Yosef were having this disagreement. Then Rabbah was nifter, Rav Yosef took him over. Then he was able to answer it. Shinoi Hashem kashinoi ma'aseh dami. A change in the name is the same as a change as an active change. Shinoi ma'aseh my timer. Why is it
Yaakov?
Yeah.
Excuse me. I mean, I had something written in my Gemara, and I just, as he was a minute ago, it just hit me. So the Shinoi Hashem, when he got a Shinoi Hashem, when he became Rosh Yeshiva, then he was able to give Pshat. Shinoi Hashem does something because he saw by himself. He changed his name from Rabbi Yosef to Rosh Yeshiva. So then he was able to give a teretz for this kasha that Shinoi Hashem is like Shishini Maisa because he changed his name, and that's what I had written in my Gemara from last time. And now it just hit me, unbelievable. It's 22 years, yeah. He's Rabbi Yosef. Rabbi Yosef Tzaddik didn't see his father 22 years till he changed his name to Tzafis Paneach. Then he went to see his father.
All right, that's pretty good Torah. That's very good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you add that part now.
I just added it now, as we were saying the other. Yeah.
Very good. That's taka, very nice. Very nice. Yeah. So Shinoi Hashem. Yeah. So he changed his name to Rosh Hashiva. Very good. So yeah. So the Gemara is saying so Shinoi Hashem Shinoi Ma'aseh Dami Shinoi Ma'aseh my time. How come Shinoi Ma'aseh works? Hasamei Kara Eitzim. Why? Because in the beginning it was wood, and Hashta Kalim. That a guy made it into Kalim. So that Shinoi changes it. So changes it to a new entity. Shinoi Hashem Nami Mei Kara Karule Mashcha. But in the beginning it was called a mashcha, which means a piece of leather. V'hashta abarzin. And now it's called an abarzin, which means Rashi says the Lashon, it's itzvah, in Lashon in Aramaic, it's itzvah, which means some sort of tray. So he's saying that Enochanami, he's saying it's Shinoi Hashem is what changed it over here. Since he changed the name of this piece of leather from one thing to another, and then that's enough to make the kinyan, right? And then Tosfos, of course, says that it's not a Shinoi Maisa Mamish, right? Because a Shinoi Maisa, you're kind of right by itself. Here, you're doing the Shinoi together. You need Yiyush together, similar to the two Tosfos before that. Meaning, here we're using combinations. We're not just using Shinoi Hashem. We're using Shinoi Hashem together with the Yiyush. Okay, we'll stop over here. Okay, so it's telling. Hey, Gimel, yeah.
Shkoyach Aaron. Adds to it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Mark, it was a good word. Yeah. Okay, Pegimo, yeah. Shivers Bala Sofa, Lima Domiloch, Altechrash, Latishkoid, Elki, Maya, Yevecha, Yamoin. Umasanecha Nasurosh, Al Amcha, Yarilu Saidi, Yisrael, Sual Tzfunecha. Amru, Lechuven, Achidim, Gav, Lay, Zach, Hashem, Yisrael, Oid, Kenoid, Levi, Achta, Balacha, Birsi, Chrois, Alei, Adam, Yishmael, Mayav, Agrim. Bava, Man, Vamalak, Kaleshes, and Yesh, Vitor, Gamma, Asher, Nuva, Imu, HaIsrael, Bnei, Leit, Sela, Selam, Kimidian, Kisisra, Yom, Racha, Kisha. Ishmael, Vein, Dar, Yidan, La, Damashi, Semen, Devain, Kairi, Kizel, Zach, Samunach, Kom, Sichema. Asher Amru near Shalanu Eis Taitz Elohim Elehai. She say Mekagalgal Kashis Nevuach. Keish to Ayor Chalavat Lahei Tarim Kein Tirdevim B'Sarecho V'Siphoskos Evalim. Malei Fneim Kolim V'Vaksha Shimcha Adonai. Yivoshu Yibolu Adeh V'Yachru V'Yevedu V'Yedu Kiyat Shimcha Adonai L'Adecha Al Yona Kolaret. Kein Kovet Yisrael Hanason B'Tzar Hashem V'Yam 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 V'Makom Yerachim Alayim V'Yotzim V'Tzar V'Rachim V'Yifelu Lo'erim V'Shivu L'Gula. Ashtom HaGalov is Ma'Kariv and
Ashikayach Aaron.
All right.
all right.
Thank you.
All right.